Not the request line, by user SwiftyDog. Growing up, my family's phone number was 555-5070. There was a local radio station whose request line was 555-5700. We would get calls at odd hours of the night from people trying to request a song. This was in the early 1980s, so answering machines weren't widespread. It was annoying, to say the least. We assumed they were just reading the phone number out wrong on the air. Turns out, they weren't quite reading it incorrectly. Call us at 555-5700 was interpreted by some of their listeners literally as 555 to 5700. The last zero wouldn't register, so it would ring our house. So my father very kindly called the manager of the radio station and asked that they simply change the way they read the request line phone number on air. Unsurprisingly, the manager wasn't receptive to that idea. "We're a radio station. We don't have to change anything," was basically the response. So the next time someone called, my father very excitedly told them they were caller 10, and they had won a brand new car. All they had to do was come down to the station and mention that they won it on the request line. He also told them that if anyone gave him any trouble, just ask for the station manager. He'd be able to sort things out. As I recall, my father gave away 2 cars, and we never had a wrong number for this radio station again. I should have learned to fly a plane, by user LHR 1999. This may be among the ultimate, "No, I don't work here" stories, you be the judge. Before I retired, I traveled a lot for work, about 175,000 miles per year on one major US airline. When I retired, I had flown over 6 million miles with this carrier. With my frequent flyer status, I was nearly always upgraded on international flights. I went to Japan at least 8 times a year for decades and took the same flight over and over. Often I would wear a white dress shirt and dark pants. Since I flew the same route so much, I knew most of the senior flight attendants and would kill time talking in the galley up front. On one flight, I had been talking to a flight attendant that I had known for years about family stuff, vacation plans, retirement, etc. She left the galley and a younger flight attendant that had been standing with us asked me if I was ready to go back to the cockpit as she got ready to block the galley with a beverage cart. I looked at her and said I don't think that would be a good idea, and she looked confused and said, "You're one of the pilots, I see you on this flight all the time." She thought I was the captain on the flight taking a break from the cockpit. I said, "No, just a really, really good customer." She was shocked and embarrassed, but we started laughing. Actually, variations on this happened several times. On the same route a year before, wearing the same kind of clothes, one of the flight attendants told me they had a new crew member that had never been to Tokyo. Since we were flying into Haneda, which is right in Tokyo, and the crew layover was in Tokyo, not out at Narita, there was actually time to do things. She asked if I would mind giving the new crew member a one-day itinerary super tour of the highlights of Tokyo. So I did, and then asked what time she would be picked up at the hotel on her departure day. Since the plane left in the early evening, I thought she might be able to squeeze in a couple more sights. She looked at me like I had lost my mind. She said, "You know what time we get picked up? It's in the crew manifest." I gently told her no, I am not a member of the crew. She was shocked and said, "But aren't you a pilot?" "Ah, no." The other variation was when a flight attendant would see me bored, look at the passenger list, ask why I am flying revenue instead of non-rev. "Ah, because I have to pay to be on the flight, since I don't work for the airline," thought I was a pilot on vacation. Then there was the Shanghai flights where pilots started sharing their favorite drinking holes there. You get the idea. Professional Costco cart watcher, by user LadyRogue7. One day I was shopping at Costco, and while I was leaving the pharmacy area and near the registers, a man walks over to me and asked me if I could watch his cart. He told me that he had to go to the bathroom real fast and didn't want someone to take his cart away with his supplies in it. Apparently, he was concerned with employees either putting his groceries away, or other customers taking what he had already gotten. He didn't want to walk all over the store find everything again. I originally thought he confused me for a worker, and before I had a chance to say much, he turned away and went to the bathroom. Me being the people pleaser that I am, and quite confused at the time, kind of just stood there looking at the cart. Over the next several minutes I had multiple thoughts run through my head. I thought I was possibly being tested, teased, set up in one way or another. I even looked around wondering if I was on camera. Finally the man returned, thanked me, then went on his way. I still wonder why he picked me of all people and if he does this often. Mix up at the GP, by user hen_Eichel. I work in reception for a small office and occasionally get asked to run errands for managers whilst out on the post run. On this day, I was asked to stop by the GP for my boss and check on a repeat prescription as the pharmacy hadn't received it. I go to reception, ask for an update and am asked to take a seat whilst they find out for me. Dear Redditors, I'm sure you can guess what happens next. That's right, the doors to one of the GP offices opens and a doctor steps out to call the next patient. As they do so, their eyes lock with mine. GP, where have you been? We've been waiting for you to arrive all day. Me confused, I'm sorry, you have? GP, yes. You were meant to be here hours ago. Why didn't you call? Me still confused, I'm sorry, I'm just getting a prescription update, I didn't realize I needed to call ahead of time. GP, wait, so you don't call, and now you've decided to pop in and get a prescription update? Unacceptable behavior, get in the office and I'll see you when I'm finished with this patient. I finally realized they had mistaken me for an employee, I'm guessing someone on reception or in admin. I'd be surprised if they thought I was a fellow GP. Well, having read a few IDWorkHereLady stories, I knew I had to set the record straight, but that it may not be easy work. Me, I'm sorry, you have me confused for someone else. I work around the corner, not here. GP, yes you do. But keep that attitude up and you won't much longer. Me, no, I really don't. GP, yes you do, I think I know who works at my practice. Me, okay then, what's my name? GP, stops and looks at me then stutters Amy. Me, nope sorry, that's definitely not me or even remotely close to my name. At this time, the receptionist had put the phone down and called me over, the GP followed me, curious or hoping to catch me lying. I'm not sure. Receptionist, thanks for waiting, boss's name's prescription will be ready at the pharmacy tomorrow. Me, oh that's great, thank you. I'll let them know. GP, penny finally drops so, you really don't work here? Me, no, I don't. I have to get back to my boss and give them this update. Goodbye. And off I popped back to the office where I am currently chuckling at finally having a story to share in this sub. Lady tries to make me shop for her, by user MaxedSprinky. So let me start by saying my last post on this sub got pretty popular and so I decided to share another incident that happened to me. So this happened when I was 15, so even younger than before. I was with my mom in a Walmart and we were at checkout. I was wearing a blue shirt with Sonic on it. It gets cringe, however it is important to the story. So as I said, I was in checkout and we are at the back of the line. These two ladies come behind us and one of them is carrying everything, no bags or cart, just carrying all these items. She drops a couple of items and I picked them up for her. The lady thanked me, but the lady who was with her got angry at me all of a sudden. My mom just kinda says hey loudly and that seemed to scare her off. I hear them behind us and the nice woman is telling the rude one how heavy the items are and if she can hold them for a bit. So the lady agrees and holds them for a couple of seconds before she taps my shoulder. Me and my mom thought she was gonna apologize, however she said, hey, carry these. I was surprised as she drops like 17 items into my arms. At this point, my mom is mad at the lady and asks why she wanted me to carry her items. She says, well, there's no reason for him to get paid if he isn't gonna work. I was even more confused until I realized I'm wearing a blue shirt. Had she confused me for an employee? Me and my mom both said I don't work here and the nice lady started laughing at the rude one. The rude lady looks pissed and said, I don't care, now go get me these. She threw a list at me and wanted me to shop for her. My mom is very angry at this point and just ignores them and tells me to do the same. It was our turn in line now and we bought our items and got out of there. I did not go to Walmart with my parents for months after that.